This video is on y equals m times x plus b. Specifically, we're going to be talking about how can you create the equation for a line that goes through 2 points using y equals mx plus b. So let's give an example here. Let's say you're asked to create an equation for a line that goes through these 2 points right here, 1, 8 and 3, 20. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to determine the slope, which is what that letter m stands for. So slope in general is equal to how much the y changes by divided by how much the x changes by. If I wanted to put algebra symbols in there, your slope is m equal to, if you're looking for the change in something, you're looking at something minus something. Since we're talking about the change in y, you're having one of the y's minus the other y. At the bottom here, since we're talking about change in x, you're having one of the x's minus the other x. So let's do this with this point right here. So one of these 2 points I need to decide is my point number 1, and one of these I will decide is my point number 2. Let's just say that I decide that 1, 8 is going to be point number 1. All right, and I'll pick the other one as point number 2. Okay, and let's say this one, I'm just going to say this one is point 2. You can do it the other way around. It would not change what the slope is. Okay, and since I am saying that since I've decided that 1, 8 is my point number 1, this 1 will be my x1 and my 8 will be my y1. My 3 will be my x2 and my 20 would be my y2. Okay, so let's just plug in those numbers into our equation here. So instead of y2, I'll put in 20. Instead of y1, I'll put in 8. So I'm just subtracting my 2 y's. Instead of x2, x2 is equal to 3, and x1 is equal to 1. And so I'm just subtracting my x's as well. And let's simplify this. 3 minus 1 is 2. 12 minus 8. 20 minus 8 is 12. And then 12 divided 2 is 6. So your slope is 6 here. If instead of just 2 points, you had a completed table with those points, in that case, your slope is just the change from one y to the next y. And this is assuming your x's go up by +1 each time. So if your x is going up by +1 in a table, then you just need to look at that change column here in red to find your slope. Okay, so we have our slope equals 6. Next we're going to find our y-intercept. Your y-intercept is that letter b right here. So how do you do that? Well, there's a few different ways. One way you could do that is you take our equation here and you're going to plug in our slope that we just found, that's 6. When you substitute a number in, it's usually considered good practice to put a parentheses around it. So our slope was 6, we already figured that out. And now you can put in either one of these points. So pick one of them, it doesn't matter which one you use. I'll just use the smaller numbers to make my math easier. So here, your 1 is your x, your 8 is your y. So let's plug those in as well. Okay, and now you just solve for b. So 6 times 1 is 6. 8 in parentheses is the same as 8 outside parentheses. Okay, and now I have here plus b plus 6. I'm trying to get my b by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to subtract 6 from both sides. So minus 6, minus 6 to both sides. 6 plus b minus 6, your positive 6, your minus 6 will just cancel each other out. So you'll just have a b. Technically, they don't cancel each other out. They become 0. And then 0 plus b is b. 8 minus 6, 2. So your b is 2. If you happen to have a completed table, then your b is just your y value when x equals 0. So look next to the x equals 0, and there's your b right there. Finally, now that you have your slope m and your y-intercept b, you can create the equation for the line by just substituting those numbers in. So for your b, you had 2. For your m, you had 6. Once again, I just put them in parentheses because that's considered good habit. But you don't actually have to have the 6 or the 2 here in parentheses. It would not change the equation. So here's your equation. Y equals 6x plus 2 is the equation for the line that goes through 1, 8 and 3, 20.